Hi everybody, welcome to Disney. Today I'm here at Disney because I'm doing something for Auntie Tay. What I'm going to do is a takeover. For today only, I am going to be doing one of Auntie Tay's SVGs. I'm going to make it really cool. I'm going to be doing it in silhouette, and I'm going to be putting rhinestones on it to really bling it out. So follow me down here at my desk and let's get started. Okay, here we are at my desktop, and this shows what we're going to be making today. I've used my granddaughter's initials in here, but this is from Auntie Tay, so I'll go get the image right now. To do that, here I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to merge because I want it to be on the same page. So merge, and this is the one that I want. So I've double-clicked on the one that I want, and it comes in like this. Okay, you'll notice right off the bat that I no longer have this second little black line in here, so I'm going to get rid of that in just a second. The first thing I need to do is highlight everything and say ungroup. Once I've ungrouped everything, I can click off and then click back on and grab some pieces individually. So there is the bow, and I'll need that, but these are still grouped together. So I'm going to highlight it again and say ungroup. And that's going to further ungroup some things. So I want this. I don't want this inner circle at all right here. So I'm just going to delete it. All right. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece right here and I'm going to offset it. So I'm going to come over here to the offset tool. Looks like this star over here. And I'm going to click on that, which will open the offset panel right here. And once that's open, I'll click on the star to say, oh, I got to highlight something that I want to offset first. Then I'll click on the word offset to offset that. Okay, I'm just going to leave it at the default because I think that works pretty well. So the next thing I'm going to do is just to drag this out of here. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put rhinestones around this, right around this part right here. So I click on it to highlight it, and then I'm going to come down here to the lower right hand corner where there's this little triangle. When I click on that, there is a menu that flies out, and I'll go over here until I find the one that is the rhinestones. And if you hover over, you get to see different terms or words describing each button. And I know that this one is the rhinestone, so I'll click on it to open up the rhinestone panel. And now let's move this over like this a little bit. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put rhinestones around the edge here. So there's different things. This one says no rhinestones and this one says edge. I'm going to click on edge. Perfect, just like that, right? It always comes in at the 10SS rhinestone size, which is the size I want. And then the next thing I did was I just came up here to color them in so I could see them more clearly. And I made them like that pinky color. All right, so then all I did was bring this back in. And you can see how easy and quickly that fits just like that. It's perfect. So then I can just put her bow back in here and she'd be ready to go, except I also wanted to make a monogram. Okay, so again, I wanted to make the monogram LN, which is my granddaughter's initials. So I come over here to the text tool, click on that, and come over here and type capital L and a capital N. Okay, and then I'm going to change that into rhinestones. So I'm going to highlight everything. And if my rhinestone panel is not open anymore, I would simply come down to the triangle down here on the right hand side and get the rhinestone tool. Looks like this. Click on it and then the rhinestone panel would be back open. Now I'm going to probably do the edge again, but when I click on it, look how goofy that looks, right? But if I highlight this and just start dragging it out, you're going to see how this is changing. And the reason why is these rhinestones take up space. So there has to be space enough for them to be able to be what they are, little round rhinestones. So that looks perfect when I get it to be about that size. So I'm going to see if that's going to fit within my area I have over here. And that is just perfect, just like that. So what I decided to do was I was going to make these rhinestones black. Okay, So now we're just ready to go ahead and make it. I'm going to get rid of this extra one over here by highlighting it and hitting delete on my keyboard. And then I'm just going to get rid of the rhinestones panel and come over here to the word send. And this is sending all of this to get cut on my Silhouette, or on my Cameo machine, I should say. And you can do this in Cricut Design Space as well. You can design it in Silhouette software, save it as an SVG, and then send it to your Cricut machine to be able to use it over there. And I have lots of classes on that. Check below in the links below for my Patreon classes. Got plenty of them, and they're a lot of fun, and they're cheap. Shouldn't say cheap. They're very inexpensive, but really, really would be beneficial to you. So anyway, let's see. What I would do now is I would probably cut my black piece first. And the black piece, I'll get rid of everything else, unclick it. And the black piece, I've decided I'm making that out of the Heat Transfer Smooth. That is from Auntie Tay, and it's the stretch HTV. I love it. You should see how well it weeds. Then after I'm done with that, I would unclick it and I would go to the next item. And the next one happens to be the rhinestones. So I would cut those out, and notice over here I've already switched it. It says Heat Transfer Flocked. And this works perfectly in the Silhouette Cameo. For the Cricut machine, I have used Everyday Vinyl, I think, for my flock. But you'll have to test it just to make sure. All right, let's uncheck that one. The next one I would check to do is her little bow. And that's going to be made out of glitter. So I've already changed that into Heat Transfer Glitter. And the last one are the rhinestones in the center. And that again is Heat Transfer Flocked. So I would just go ahead and start, but the first thing I would do, as I said, before I do every one of these, I always do a test, just to make sure. All you have to do is hit this little button down here that says test, and it does a little test for you where you can make sure it's cutting perfectly, and you'll be on your way. So join me now down at my table, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to get the rhinestones in, and then how I'm going to press it all together with my heat press. Okay, here we are for the next part of the process. Here are some of the tools that I like to use. This brush that comes in the package or in the kit. You won't need to do this, what I'm going to do, if you have the kit, because it comes with the sticky flock. But if you don't have the sticky flock, you can get a temporary adhesive. I have this one. It's sort of pricey. I use this one because I have it from when I worked at a quilt shop. But any kind of spray adhesive would probably work. So what you do is you have already cut out the holes that you need. You're going to turn this over and make sure you don't get any sticky on the fuzzy side, only the sticky on this side. Okay. And then my rhinestones, my tools I need. You want to not get any sticky on this tray. I'm just using a cookie sheet. I've seen people use chalkboards or dry erase boards or different kind of things. With this cookie sheet, I got it at the dollar store. Works perfectly, just like this. So notice that sticks it right down how I need it. So then I'm just going to get my rhinestones out. And you dump in more than what you think you need. And like rhinestones come with the kit, enough to do several projects, some really good projects. So then you take the brush that comes with the kit and you just go around in circles like this. And when you go around in circles, because of the shape of the rhinestones, they kind of get knocked into the little holes automatically. And if ever you miss one, you can go back, just take a bunch of them back over there and roll them around again. Once you think you have it pretty well situated, then you just go flat from side to side like this. So notice the L is already done. The N is just missing maybe one. And that's it. Then all I have to do is move the rhinestones over to the sides, like this, and double check to make sure I'm not missing anything and nobody's turned over upside down. They look perfect. Then I get a piece of this, and this also comes in the kit, or you can buy it separately. This is a transfer tape, not like the stuff that we ordinarily use, because this can be used with a heat press or an iron, and it doesn't melt. So it's specifically for this. So I just put this down on here, lay it down flat, and then I can take my little brush if I want to and just brush over top. This is going to make my rhinestones stick to my transfer tape, and they should all come right up. If ever you have one that doesn't come up, just push your transfer tape back down on top of it, and it should probably come up. So I want to make sure before I pick it all up. It looks perfect, just like that. So see how easy that is? So I've already done the red part, because I didn't want you to have to watch all of it. So now what I do is I just use, actually, they sell a tool for this, but I got this at the dollar store. A little, what do you call it? Dustpan. And it really works well. I just get these all up in here. I just don't want to lose any of my rhinestones. I almost treat them like they're gold. So once I get them all up in here, and I'll fast forward. Okay, the next thing I do is I just get out my container and turn my little dustpan on its edge like this, and just kind of carefully make those go down the little trough right there so that I don't lose any. There's a nice little trough that they can go down in case my container was more narrow-necked. Would work well. Okay, so there you go. Just clean these back up, put them away, and we're ready to start to heat press our shirt. Okay, I've got my heat press warming up. I have it set at 335 degrees for 15 seconds. I've already preheated my t-shirt, and I made a small line in the center with the heat press so I know exactly where the center is. I've also put my little T-pad in here because that helps, because I like to have this seam fall off the edge of it so that it doesn't obstruct the pressure that I get here. So the first thing I'm going to put on here is going to be this piece, and I'm going to put it on for, just as long as I think I can, so that it will be adhered, because then I'm going to put the monogram in the center too. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball this. Make sure it's on there good. All right, this should just about be ready. It is ready. So I'm going to do this for about 5 seconds. And I'm going to test it to see if that worked well. And I can tell that it did. So that's perfect. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the monogram. And then I'll do that for the full 15 seconds. Because these things take the highest temperature and the longest time. So since a lot of this isn't covered, I am going to use my Teflon sheet now. And I'm going to do this for the 15 seconds. Okay. Now the next piece that I'm going to put on will be the black, and that is the stretch vinyl. So I'm going to put that in here like this. And for that I need to change the setting on my press. And I'm going to make it go down to 305. So I'm going to hit the set and go down. And I'm going to do it for 305 for about, I think, you know, I think I will do that just enough to tack it on as well. Because the next thing will be the glitter, and I'll have to pop that back up again for glitter to 320 degrees. So I think this should be ready just enough to get it to stick. Okay, that part's done, and now I'm ready for the very last piece, which is the bow. That's the glitter. Let's check it out. It should be all done now. Oh, that turned out really beautiful. I love it. This has been Patty Ann from Patty Ann's Place on YouTube. I look forward to seeing you guys over there soon, where you'll learn lots of more tips on using Silhouette and your Cricut machine. Also, don't forget to go to Auntie Tay's website, shopauntitay.com, and use my code word, Patty Ann. You'll get an extra 10% off. I'll have the links down below. And also, become a member over there at Auntie Tay. She's got thousands of SVGs and all kinds of stuff over there. Plus, you get a 20% discount on everything if you're a member. So again, thanks for joining me, you guys. See you again soon. Bye-bye.